When working with formulas, it's important to remember that the order of the formulas within a cube is very relative to how and what values are actually computed by the formulas themselves. Let's build an example of this scenario. Currently, we have a formula where we calculate gross profit by subtracting cost of sales from sales. Let's now assume that for Canada, our gross profit is going to be different due to some exchange rate calculation. What we can do is within our cube, future year model, formulas, we can write a special formula for gross profit that applies to simply Canada. What we're going to do is we're going to put this formula as the first formula in the list. This is a more specific formula. You generally want to develop and provide your specific formulas and have the formulas then fall into the more generic cases afterwards. So to write this formula, we'll do a left-hand side, and this time, instead of simply selecting gross profit along the accounts dimension, we're going to select the regions dimension as well and select Canada. We can now see down here that our formula, the left-hand side of our formula, covers both gross profit and regions Canada. I'll select OK. Set that equal to, and for ease of demo here, I will copy formulas from below. I will put these into parentheses so that my subtraction will happen first. And I'm going to multiply the value of that times 0.75. I now hit check syntax. I have no syntax errors. I hit OK. Hit OK to this dialog. As we can see up here right now, the value is 200. I'll select OK to here. I will recalculate, and you can now see that my value is 150. All the values for my other regions remains the same, 630, 480. So this formula only governs the gross profit for Canada. Now, what happens if we make that the second formula in our model? I will now take and copy or cut this formula and paste it below my other formula. Hit check syntax, and I receive an error. It's telling me that the region is empty. What that means is any value that comes in here for gross profit will be governed by the first formula. The second formula is more specific. Therefore, when I try to calculate Canada gross profit, because this formula above it is more general, it just covers gross profit, it means no value will ever come into the second formula and calculate just gross profit for Canada. Therefore, it's very important to remember that the order of your formulas in your cube is critical in terms of your calculation. You should always develop your formulas such that your more specific cases are first and your more general cases fall in afterwards. PowerOLAP formulas exist within each, or can exist within individual cubes. A cube contains all the formulas for the particular cube. Any calculated values within a single cube must have formulas within that cube. How do you create and specify formulas? Simply select the model, cubes, pick the name of the cube that you want the formula to exist in. What this means is that the calculated value, the value that you're trying to create, must exist in this cube. Formulas can reference other cubes in calculating their values, but the result of the formula itself must exist in the cube that contains the formula. For this example, I'll click on Future Year Model. When I select Formulas, as you can see, we already have some formulas within this cube. Formulas consist generally of two parts, a left-hand side and a right-hand side. A left-hand side of a formula defines the region that the formula is to cover. Let's think about Excel in this example. When in Excel, you can have a formula living within a cell, or you can have a formula living within a range of cells. In Excel, you can type a formula into one cell and do a fill down to many cells. What that means is the result of the formula will be duplicated into each one of those cells that you fill into. In PowerOLAP, we've extended the left-hand side to conceive or to exist in a multidimensional space. To equate this to Excel, in Excel you only have 2 dimensions, your rows and your columns. In PowerOLAP, you have n dimensions, with n being the number of dimensions within a cube. The left-hand side of your formula is going to define that region or that area of a cube that you want to be calculated based on the formula. The right-hand side determines the value that is calculated and placed or stored into that left-hand side formula. Therefore, a normal formula syntax is left-hand side, or the region you want to be calculated, equals right-hand side, which indicates the value and how you want it to be calculated.